Cognizant to the needs of our learners, parents, and teachers, the Department of Education provided us with powerful tools for productivity that will allow us to foster critical thinking skills, problem-solving skills, communication and collaboration skills to be compassionate, responsible global citizens. Join us and discover new ideas in our series of professional development training program with the ICTS Edtech Unit and Microsoft Education Philippines. Together, we will equip our learners and empower our fellow educators for a dynamic future. Para sa bata, para sa bayan, at para sa guro. Sulong Edukalidad.
Magandang araw, Sir Wilbur po, at your service. Narito ang ETUlay upang gabayan ka sa inyong pag-aaral upang lubos na maunawaan ang iba't ibang paksa o subject. Ang ETUlay ay isang free online tutorial class na pinangungunahan ng ICTS Educational Technology Unit sa pamumuno ni Undersecretary Elaine Del B. Pascua. Ang programang ito ay hindi lamang para sa mga bata, kundi ito rin ay magsisilbing gabay sa mga magulang at mga guro kung paano nila ituturo o gagabayan sa bawat asignatura ang kanilang mga anak o mga estudyante. Sa kasalukuyan, ang self-learning module mula sa rehiyon ng Calabarzon at kilala sa tawag na pivot ang ginagamit sa ating ETUlay online class. Kaya ano pang hinihintay ninyo? Ihanda na ang inyong mga ballpen o lapis, papel o kwaderno at samahan kaming itulay ang pagkatuto para sa bawat batang Pilipino. Sama-sama tayong magtutulungan para malampasan ang mga hamon sa panahong ito. Halina't matuto kasama ang inyong online tutor sa oras na ito.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the ETUlay online tutorial for English 7. So we have the screen now, so we can start. So again, welcome everybody. We have for this session, quarter 3, week 4, and our topic for this afternoon will be expressing one's beliefs and convictions. So again, I would like to greet everybody. Good afternoon, especially to our watchers from Oriental Mindoro. And we also have from Sagin and some more from, we have Mac Janaya, Trisha Ong, we have Eugene from South Annex of SDO Hain, South Annex, and also from watchers from Nueva Ecija. A very pleasant afternoon to all of you. So I am your tutor, Drazel, and I will be your guide, English 7. I am always here from 1:40 p.m. to 2:20 p.m. And for this afternoon, we are going to have expressing one's beliefs and convictions. By the way, before we continue, let me say thank you first to the Division Office of Pasig City for allowing us to use their self-learning module for this afternoon. So these are our objectives for this session. So at the end of the session, you will be able to first is infer what happened in a given situation. Next, we also have answer comprehension questions after reading the text. And finally, we will also be expressing one's beliefs and convictions after reading the material. So this session is actually made not just for reading, but also for viewing lessons. So, but for this afternoon, of course, we're going to concentrate on reading. So let us have the pre-test before we continue with our lesson. This is to check if your level of knowledge for this particular lesson. So this is our direction. So I'm going to read the passage. You have to read along and then respond to the questions. Each question, of course, will ask you to make a logical inference based on textual details. Of course, when you're making inferences, you're already expressing your beliefs and your convictions. So are you ready, learners? If you are ready, let me see a smiling face on the comment section. Can you give a smiling face so we can start um, with our session for this afternoon? Okay, while we're waiting for the smiley faces, let me greet everybody from Mangahan High School. We have students from 8 Adorable. Okay, and now we have some smiley faces here, so that only means that it's a signal that we can now start our pretest. So this is our reading material for the pretest. Let me read it for you. Please read along in the comfort of your own homes. Every day after work, Paul took his muddy boots off on the steps of the front porch. Alice would have a fit if the boots made it so far as the welcome mat. He then took off his dusty overalls and threw them into a plastic garbage bag. Alice left a new garbage bag tied to the porch railing for him every morning. On his way in the house, he dropped the garbage bag off at a washing machine and went straight up the stairs to the shower as he was instructed. He would eat dinner with her after he was presentable, as Alice had often said. Let's have the questions. Number one, what type of job does Paul do? Letter A, Paul works in a bank. Letter B, Paul works as a lawyer. C, Paul works some kind of job that requires him to get dirty. Or D, Paul works as a boatman transporting people across the river. What is your answer for pretest number one? Please write the number and the letter of your choice. We already have an answer from Mark. Okay, what about the others? Can you please post your answer? Okay, so while we're waiting, I'll greet Ma'am Melinda from Bulan, Sorsogon. Okay, we now have some answers here, and their answer is okay. So let us see if Regine, Eugen, and Izzy's answer is correct. Is it letter C? Yes, very good. It's a letter C. That's a good start. Next, let's have number two. Number two, what type of person is Alice? Okay. Letter A, Alice is a naughty one. B, Alice is a very clean person. C, Alice is a controlling person. Or letter D, Alice is a very annoying person. What type of a person is Alice? Write your answer on the comment box now. Okay, let's have the answer. Okay, let us see if Jermary's answer or Angela's answer is correct. What is the answer for number two? The correct answer is letter B. You're correct, Angela. Alice is a very clean person. Next, let's have number three. What relationship do Paul and Alice have? A, they are twins. B, they are strangers. Letter C, they are neighbors. And letter D, they are husband and wife. What do you think is their relationship? Please write your answers now. Let us see if the answer of Rudy, Janelle, Samantha, and Carol, is their answer correct? Let us see. The correct answer for number three is D. So, Regine, you are correct. They are husband and wife. Next, number four. Okay, for number four, we have another reading material. Let me read it. Crack. Thunder struck and rain poured. Max stared blankly out the window, trying to contain his emotions that raged like the weather. He was beginning to lose it. Dropping the kite from his hand, Max broke out into full sobs. His mother comforted him. There, Max. We'll just find something else to do. She began to unpack the picnic basket that was on the counter and offered him a sandwich. Max snapped. I don't want sand, Mitch. A flash from the sky lit up the living room. Boom! Mom sighed. Okay, let us see what is question number 4. So for question number 4, we have this question. Why is Max upset? Okay, why is Max upset? Letter A, his mother is busy with her work. Letter B, it is so hot outside that could make him sick. Letter C, it is raining and he could not go outside to play. And letter D, his mother doesn't want him to go outside and play. What is the correct answer for number 4? Okay, let us see. We have an answer here now from Ira. Okay, and the others, we have Rebecca, we have Tana, we have um, Renz also, and Lance. Let us see if their answer is correct. Is it a letter C? Okay, the correct answer is letter C. Lance, you are correct. Next, let's have number 5. For number 5, this is the last item for the pretest. What was mom planning on doing today? A. She was going shopping with Max. Letter B. She was going to take Max on a picnic. Letter C. She was going to work and she was late. And letter D. She was going on a trip with her friends. What was mom planning on doing today? What is your answer for number 5? Okay. Okay, some already posted their answers. We have answers from Camille, from Guadalquivir, from Jazel, and we have Liliosa. Let us see if the answer of Rolf is correct. The correct answer for number 5 is okay, very good. It's letter B. She was going to take Max on a picnic. Now, as you can see, I would like to congratulate first those people who got a perfect score in the pretest. That's a very good start. Don't worry for those people who have mistakes. We still have some more activities to do for this session. Now, of course, let me ask you now. Last in the last activity we had a pretest, so you had an inference. You made an inference. So our today's session will also be about making inferences. So, but before we proceed to that, have you already, of course, I know you have already watched a lot of movies, a lot of sessions or television shows. But are you familiar with Eat Bulaga's Bawal Judgmental? Are you familiar with that show or with that segment of GMA7's Eat Bulaga? Okay, so let me see if there are people who are familiar with that. You just comment yes if you are familiar with Eat Bulaga's Bawal Judgmental. So we have a comment here from Mark and he is saying yes. So if you're familiar, it is on that segment that you will be given some people, you will be shown some people, and then you are going to judge whether they are really the one that is being classified or that is being qualified on that particular show. Let's say, for example, they're looking for government officials or um, something like, let's say, for example, a mom of 3 kids. So you will not be given clues. So you will just be looking at them and then you're going to judge or you're going to infer if that person is really the one that fits the qualifications given by the show. So that is what we're going to do also in the reading materials that we're going to have for this afternoon. So today we're going to have inferences. The question now is, have you used inference before in your lives now as a high school student? Have you already inferred? Did you make a guess? Okay. Okay, we have some answers here. Mitchell and Paul and Christine and Jersey were saying yes, so they have already inferred. So inference is something that is not new to us. We are always making guesses. Some are intelligent guesses, some are just wild guesses, but it's still an inference, right? So what we're going to have for today is first, let's define word inference. So, what about an inference? So, an inference is using observation and background to reach a logical conclusion. Again, I would repeat that carefully. Inference is using observation and background to reach a logical conclusion. So, therefore, you're not just going to give a guess, right? You're going to think about it carefully. You're really going to study it and research about it and really observe before you are going to make an inference. That's why it's called an intelligent guess, right? So now, what is an intended meaning? Because when you infer, you will also try to think of the intended meaning. Now, the intended meaning is what we think the author is trying to teach us. So, when you are reading a material, a text material, you really have to think, what is the author trying to teach me? Or what is the author trying to tell me? Okay, that is what we are going to do. In watching movies, you also do that because, like I have mentioned, this particular skill, making inferences, is also used in viewing lessons. So when you watch something, of course, you really have to be very careful and try to think of the objective of the author or the director before you can be able to really see what is the objective or what is the aim of that particular show or that particular reading material. So now the next question is this: why is it important to make inferences? Why do I have to infer? Okay, why do I have to do that? Can I just study and then I'll just wait for the text or the details that will be given by the author? Should I really make inferences? So, of course, the answer is yes, of course. You really have to make inferences because it's not going to be everything that the author will be giving to you, like a bonus round or something, right? So, you really have to think because it's a higher order thinking skill, or what we call HOTS, HOTS, and it's one of the, or a requirement for being a K to 12 learner or a 21st century learner. Okay, so let us proceed now with this one. So, when making inferences, don't forget that you are looking beyond what is stated in the text and finding the ideas to which the author only hints. So, the author will not give you everything, they'll just be giving you some clues. Okay? Yeah, so we have a comment here from Ayego. It says, inferences helps improve in analyzing things. Very good, Ayego. That's one good comment. So this also makes you a more active reader and, of course, a critical thinker. Okay, and it also makes it easier to understand what the author is sharing with you. So this is also a tool in reading comprehension. So when you're good in making inferences, it's also a way to develop your reading skills. So now, how will we practice making inferences? So I'm going to give her some tips on how you're going to do that. And please be mindful of these tips because this will really, really help you a lot. First, observe all the facts, arguments, and information given by the author. So when you read, be very, very careful in reading. And it's not just about the speed in reading, it's about comprehension always. Next, consider what you already know. So now you are going to express your beliefs. What do you already know about the reading text or that movie? And then try to compare it with what that reading text is giving you. Okay, so that is for beliefs. Next, determine which is true or false. So again, that is critical thinking. So you have to think now whether it is true or false. And another skill is to read between the lines. So that again is a reading comprehension skill. Next, Try to make intelligent guesses. So while you're reading, you will now try to make intelligent guesses. Try to think what will happen next. What is this type of character? Who is the protagonist? Who is the antagonist? What is the climax? So you try to think of the elements and the literary devices that are present on that reading text so you will be able to understand it fully. Next, we also can ask questions. So you ask yourself, who are the characters really? And what is the value of this character to the story? Or what is this author trying to tell me? So those are questions that you can ask. Next, you can now make predictions. So that is another reading comprehension skill. And of course, the last tip that I'm going to give you is to find connections in the details. So it is really better if in reading, you will be jotting down notes. Because when you jot down notes, of course, it will be easier for you to just look at the notes whenever there is something confusing. So you will be able to fully grasp whatever is the intention of the author. So if that is clear, let us have some exercises. Let us see if you really learned something in our discussion. So let us have activity 1. Okay, let us have activity 1. Ready with your pens and your ball pens? Let us have activity 1. So the direction for activity 1, I'm going to read the passage, you read along, and then respond to the questions by encircling the letter of the correct answer. Each question requires to make a logical inference based on textual details. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. Of course, there is going to be another passage here, and you're just going to comment, right? Just put the number and the answer of your answer. Okay, ready? Let's start with activity 1. The first situation: you have a dinner party and all the guests ask for seconds. What is the most logical conclusion? Okay, again, you have a dinner party and all the guests ask for seconds. What is the most logical conclusion? Letter A, the food is good. B, the guests eat too much. Letter C, the food is terrible. And D, the guests are picky eaters. What do you think is the correct answer for number 1? Okay, while we're waiting, I have here Ma'am Arlene, okay, from Dasmariñas Integrated High School. And then we now have some answers here. Let us check if their answers are correct. I see a lot of A's here. Is it a letter A? Okay, let us see. Okay, very good. It's a letter A. So Seti and Alex and Steven got it correctly. Next, let's have number 2. Number 2, when reading a story, it is important to blank or find the intended meaning. Letter A, look for what the author is trying to teach us. B, ask questions about the characters. C, make predictions about the next chapter. Or D, look for common themes. What do you think is the correct answer for number 2? Okay, while we're waiting, let me say hi to Cian, Francis, Faith, Germany, and now we have some answers here. And according to Jill, it's an A. And to Renz, it's an A. And also D1 and Amber, let us see if their answer is correct. Very good. It's a letter A. Very good, learners. You're really coping with making inferences. Let's proceed with the third item. Number 3. The idea that is suggested by the facts or details in a passage is called blank. A, inference. B, literary device. C. Logical connectors. Or D. Poetic license. What is the correct answer for number 3? Let me say hi to Vilma, to Dana, to Louise, Miles, and Cian, and Ralph, and John. Okay, let us see if the answer of Vanna is correct. Is it a letter A? Very good, Vanna. It's letter A. It's an inference. That is what our topic is all about. Next, let's have number 4. Number 4, you wake up and see 3 branches on the ground and trash all over the place. What happened? Letter A, it was a peaceful night. B, it rained hard last night. C, there was a storm last night. Or letter D, there was a war between 2 gangs. What is the answer? While we're waiting, let us greet Bernadette, Emmanuel, Luis, and John. Jersey, happy watching, everyone. And then we now have answers here for number 4. Let us check if Brianna's answer is correct. The correct answer is letter C. Okay, that is correct. Next, let's have the last item for number 5. Number 5, a friend comes to school on crutches. What happened? Letter A, he had flu. B, he had suffered depression. C, he accidentally cut his arm. Or D, he had some kind of accident and was injured. What happened to your friend? Okay. Let me greet Charles and Cedric and Grizel. Good afternoon. And then we have answers. Let us check if Mark Platon's answer is correct. Let me see. The correct answer is letter D, Mark. Very good. Okay, now, those who got a 5, please give a heart react on the comment section. Those who got a 5, please give a heart react. Everybody, let me see the hearts now. While we're waiting for the hearts to flood the comment section, let me greet Andrea. Happy watching. And then we now have hearts. Okay, we have a lot of hearts here from Hariel, from Kate, from Aliana, and from Jonah. Thank you very much for commenting and congratulations for that perfect score. So that only signals me to give you the second activity. Let us proceed with activity 2. So just the same, the instructions will be the following. We're going to read the passage and then you respond to the questions. And then, of course, each question will ask you to make a logical inference based on textual details. Okay? So, again, we're going to make inferences. We're going to express our beliefs. We're going to express our convictions in this activity. So, let us now start. Okay, we have the reading material. Please read along with me. Tommy, Mom called out as she walked in the front door. Tommy, she continued, shouting, I sure could use some help with these groceries. There was still no reply. Mom walked into the kitchen to put the grocery bags down on the counter when she noticed shattered glass from the picture window all over the living room floor and a baseball not far from there. I'm going to kill you, Tommy, Mom yelled to herself as she realized that Tommy's shoes were gone. Okay, that is our story for this afternoon. Now let us see the questions. Let us have number 1. What happened to the window? Okay, let's have letter A. Tommy installed the broken window. Letter B. Tommy broke the window while playing baseball. Letter C, Tommy cleaned the window with a dirty rag. And letter D, Tommy left the window open and some birds flew in. What do you think really happened to the window? Let us see the answers. Okay, we have answers here from John. Ma'am Flor de Lisa Canoy, good afternoon also. And now let us see if Lance and John's answer is correct. Is it letter B? Okay, let us check. Okay, very good. Angela and Boymar, you got the correct answer. It's letter B. Next, number 2. Why did Tommy leave? A. Tommy had to run an errand. B. Tommy had forgotten his baseball bat outside. Letter C. Tommy was in a hurry to play baseball outside. And letter D. Tommy was afraid his mother would punish him. What do you think is the reason why Tommy left the house? Let us see if Angel Nicole's answer is correct for number 2. Okay, let us wait for the others to finish answering. We have answers now here. Let us see if the answer of Jeb is correct, and Kirby also, and Hariel. Is it a letter D? Okay, very good, people. Hariel, you got the correct answer. It's letter D. Next, let's have number 3. Hey, before number 3, let us read the second reading material. Gloria was driving around the neighborhood in her pajamas. Every block or so, she'd stop the car, hold her head out of the door, whistle, and call out, "Candy! Candy! Come here, girl!" Then she'd start the car again and slowly drive another block or two, looking around from left to right. Curtis sat in the passenger seat. He was looking around too, but he held his head low. "How many times have I told you to make sure that you shut and lock the door after you come in?" Gloria reprimanded Curtis. Curtis sighed. He felt bad enough without her finger wagging. Let us see the next question. Question number 3. Who is Candy and what are Gloria and Curtis doing? Letter A. Candy is a dog and Gloria and Curtis are looking for her. Letter B. Gloria and Curtis are having a walk with their dog Candy. Letter C. Gloria and Curtis are driving to the park with Candy, their dog. And letter D. Candy is a girl who is strolling at the park with Gloria and Curtis. What is your answer for number 3? Okay, we have an answer here. The very first to answer is Amber Gail Trilliana. And let us see if her answer is correct. The correct answer for number 3 is very good. It's letter A. Candy is a dog, and Gloria and Curtis are looking for her. Okay, next, let's proceed with number 4. Number 4. How did Candy get out? Okay, let me just remind you, Candy is the dog, okay? So how did Candy get out? Let's have the choices. Letter A. Candy unlocked the door. B. Candy jumped over the door. The door, I mean. Letter C. Candy pushed open the door. And letter D. Candy crawled under the door. What do you think is the answer for number 4? Again, how did Candy get out? Okay, we're waiting. While we're waiting, let me greet Lovely Joy and Germary here. We also have Tristan and Crizel. Okay, and they're already posting their answers. You won. Okay, and let us check if Jill's answer is correct. Is it letter C? She has the same answer with Angela, with Guadalupe, with Sedi, with Jana, and Jonafel. Is their answer correct? Is it letter C? Okay, very good. It's a letter C. Candy pushed open the door. Of course, definitely, Candy cannot unlock the door. He's a dog. I mean, she's a dog, right? Okay, next, let's proceed with our last question. Why does Curtis feel bad? Again, why does Curtis feel bad? Letter A. Curtis lets Candy out for a walk. Letter B. Curtis doesn't like candy inside the house. Letter C. Letter C. Curtis walks the dog to the park and loses her. And letter D. Curtis knows that it's his fault that Candy ran away. Again, why does Curtis feel bad? What do you think is the answer? Okay, let's wait. We now have answers. Okay, let us check if the answer is correct. Kate says it's a D. Regin says it's a D also. Janelle says it's a B. Alex, it's a D. JC is a D. Okay, let us check if their answer is correct. The correct answer for number 5, and this is our last question for this afternoon. It's letter D. So D1, you got it correctly, and Ayego and Cassandra, that's very, very good. Okay, so that would be our final activity. Now let me just check those people who got a 5. Please give, let's have a happy react, okay, or a smiling face. Okay, while we're waiting, let me greet Cherise from Sagi Integrated School. Happy Cherise. So let's now have your smiley faces if you got a 5. Okay, so those who got a 5, we have Germany, we have Jeb, we have um, John, Christine, Lance, Jill. They have happy faces. And Dana and Francine and Brianna and Ira and Renz. Okay, very, very good, guys. You got a perfect score. Let's now have, for those people who had one mistake, those people who got a 4, can you give a thumbs up? Those people who got a 4, please give a thumbs up. Okay, let us check how many got one mistake. Okay, there are still a lot of smileys here. No one is reacting with a thumbs up. Does that mean that everybody got a perfect score? Okay, we have 1 from Raymar. Okay, that's still a good score. 4 is still a good score. Another is Mary. Okay, and Dion. Okay, very good. So at least we have a good score, and that is what matters, right? So those people who got a 5 or a 4, that's very, very good. Congratulations, learners. And for those who still have lots of mistakes, don't worry. You can play this over and over again until you get it. Okay? No one's stopping you to do that. You can always play this back so that you will be aided in studying. That's why it's called ETUlay, because it bridges the gap, right? So there, we now have our last question. So now let's have a recap of everything that we have learned today. What should you remember in making inferences? Please comment down your answers on our comment section. What must you remember in making inferences? Let me see the answers now. Okay, like yes, we have some answers now. Okay, before that, let me greet Charles Canoy. Good afternoon also, Charles. How about the others? Let me now have your answers. What should you remember in making inferences? I've discussed that a while ago. I even gave you a lot of tips about inferences. What have you now learned? The next time that you are going to make an inference, what must you remember? Okay, from Germany, Pastor, she said, we should always analyze the story. That's a good learning, Germany. Very, very good. Okay, don't forget that. Always analyze before making inferences. According to Stephen Lewis Carrilla, we should also make predictions. Very good. And from Aliana, you are looking beyond what is stated in the text. Good, that's a higher order thinking skill. And from Jonah, we have to observe all the facts, arguments, and information given by the author. From Lance, read with purpose and meaning. That's very, very good. Please clap your hands for the success of all the learners that who have joined us today. So this is now my piece. Remember, you have to be very careful in making inferences and all the materials that you have read or viewed. Don't ever forget that. And of course, always make sure that the material is clearly understood before making inferences. Okay? Do not make it too fast in doing inferences. And of course, let me just remind everybody that Tuesday is always English Day. So please don't forget that. If you want to learn more about English, always visit the ETUlay tutorial every Tuesday. And for comments, suggestions, you may email us at edtech@deped.gov.ph. Again, let me greet everybody, or let me say thank you very much, everybody, for staying with me. And up next, we will be having the English 8 tutorial session. Bye, everybody. Stay safe, and God bless us all.
Sigurado ako na marami ka na namang natutuhan sa ating ETUlay tutorial session ngayong araw. Tandaan, ito ay hindi lamang para sa ating mga mag-aaral, kundi pati rin sa ating mga minamahal na guro at mga magulang na kaagapay natin para maituloy ang pagkatuto sa kabila ng nararanasang pandemya. Patuloy ding sumubaybay sa DepEd TV para sa mga araling ginawang video episodes. Mapapanood ito mula Lunes hanggang Sabado, alas 7 ng umaga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi sa inyong mga telebisyon. Abangan bukas mula 1:00 ng tanghali ang iba pang aralin sa ating ETUlay free online tutorial session sa Filipino. I-like and subscribe at manatiling nakasubaybay sa ating ETUlay tutorial session sa DepEd Edtech Unit FB page at Educational Technology Unit channel sa YouTube at sa DepEd Tayo at DepEd Philippines social media accounts. Paalam!